everybody. Welcome to Nova's Corner without the Nova. Nova's missing in action. You know, poor girl's got a life of her own. What can you expect? Actually, she's not really missing in action. I know where she's at. It's my fault. I asked her last minute, expecting that, on a Sunday she'd be available. I was hoping that it'd be a good time to kind of get her back on so that you guys could see her again. Because she's been, absent from this channel for so long. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to have her back, but she's too busy. Hi, my name is Packy, creator of Pack Rat's Shack. I upcycle furniture, build out of pallet wood, finish interior spaces, and have a vendor booth for my creations. Welcome to my world. The point in this is just to give an extra tidbit. I'm hoping to get this out midweek, but it's just to kind of get things caught up for maybe comments that people are leaving or to find out how things are going for us. And I just wanted to kind of touch on a few things. So to start with, it's just been over a year since I've started the YouTube channel. I actually got it started with Nova's help last October. So October 2022 was our first video. I would say that no matter how much planning we tried to get on board with and prepare for that launch date, it still wasn't enough. Well, I take that back. You can only plan so much. Then at some point you just got to take the dive and jump off and start swimming. So that's what we did. And even though my intention was to have like 15 to 20 videos already done and edited on the shelf ready to go so I could keep up a consistent schedule no matter what happened in our lives, it didn't work. I'm glad I did that. I think I only got to about 12 videos to prep with before we just decided to launch, but those 12 videos that were pretty much done, aside from some tweaking, was done in no time. And then we're flying by the seat of our pants, just trying to make content as we go to try to stay on a schedule, which it's all worked out. It's been fine. We've been figuring it out as we went. And then I'm figuring it out now with Nova being available less and less. So it was quite recently, within the last month and a half, 2 months, that I noticed a notification on my dashboard for YouTube that had congratulations and graffiti flying that I had reached 75,000 views. And I kind of was like, didn't pay attention to it. And I remember seeing it took me like 2 or 3 times of getting in before I actually really read it and was like, wow, 75,000 views? Me? Really? It was kind of amazing to me. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know I had that goal, but I've made a goal. It astonishes me when I get in and see what other people are doing along my genre. Their views for one video is like in the millions, like more than 1 million. It's in the millions for one video. I'm excited that I have 75,000 views on all of my videos since the start of my channel. So around this exact same time last year, 2022, I launched my video, Country Brittle Turns Distressed. And I'm talking up to that point, I would be lucky like if I got 20 or 30 or 50 views. I don't think I ever got more than that. So I mean, if I got 100 views, I would have been tickled pink because that would have been another goal met. But I remember waking up Christmas morning, seeing that my numbers reached 1,000 views. And I was like, oh my God, this is such a great Christmas gift. So thank you. It's because of you. All of you guys gave me a wonderful Christmas gift last year. The best Christmas gift that I have ever gotten outside of a close family member was given to me last year by you, my viewers. So I wanted to take the time to say thank you for that because it was a big gift. Like for me, I'm little time. It was a big gift. So it was amazing. So from there, it was around mid-January that I launched another video, and this was my double mocha coffee bean video. And like I said, I'm not used to big numbers, so I mean, I was just doing my work and putting it out on the channel. But this piece started growing very fast and in high numbers that was astonishing to me, meaning, nowhere near a million. I mean, small time, but big for me. But this video actually earned me the rest of the subscribers I needed to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and all of the hours that I needed for view hours in order to apply for monetization. It took months. It wasn't till June that it grew enough and got me all of the subscribers. And plus, I mean, I kept putting out other videos. So, I mean, there's other videos that also earn some subscribers here and there. But this double mocha coffee bean had been continually being watched and was high in numbers and really earned the majority of what I needed in order to apply for monetization, which again, that's because of all of you that are watching and subscribing. So thank you very much. I wanted to take the time to tell you really how much I appreciate you, because it's because of you that this journey has been going so well for me. So I would say since mid-January of 2023, that was probably the best reaction to a video I've had. I've I've enjoyed different projects that I've worked on since then, and I've had other releases that are steadily growing since then. My painted velvet, the country brittle turns distressed, and my stray lonely abandoned hutch top are to name a few, and also a black pedestal commission table. All of these things are slowly building over time, and I was actually really recently surprised in like the last several months that my painted velvet chairs just keeps, a steady view to it. So that's really nice to see that kind of stuff, and I've really enjoyed the journey and seeing how things catch on or don't catch on or whatever, but nothing has been what double mocha coffee bean has been. I mean, nothing has come close to that. That's like over 37,000 views in itself, which again, for other people, that's small time. But for me, it's huge. I would have never expected things to happen as fast as they've happened for us. So along that lines, all of that is great, but what's different about the 4 or 5 other pieces that I've mentioned and other ones even less viewed than those, they've all sold. And so they're making me an income from my booth or from the commission that I was hired to do. Double mocha coffee bean has not sold. And being that I put in over 60 hours in that, I was thinking $550 really isn't that steep, and it's not earning me much of a profit. I mean, especially by the time you are accounting for labor. When you talk about that kind of stuff, I'm not complaining. I've loved the journey regardless. And, it is what it is. But pieces that actually sell and you can keep moving them along, that's where the business is. Another side point to all of that is that, again, nothing has hit like double mocha coffee bean had hit. So even though it took until about June or so to grow in enough views and subscribers that I was able to get monetized, nothing has hit that big since. So other things that are growing steadily are still helping out that route, but all of the momentum was gone basically. So my view hours, and I mean, I still am hovering around the right number of subscribers to stay monetized, but my view hours are drastically low. Like during the time that double mocha coffee bean was growing, it was nothing to be like at 9,000 or 14,000 view hours. But now I'm anywhere between 50 to 80 view hours at most in any given month's time frame. So, I do understand that the view hours mean for the last 365 days for the consideration of monetization. But as soon as that double mocha coffee bean is no longer in the 365 days, I'm not going to have 4,000 view hours that I need to have in order to stay monetized. So I'm not exactly certain how all of that's going to go. Above and beyond that, it's not that big of a deal. This isn't my whole purpose of running the channel. I actually am more proud of the fact of the followers that I have, the people who like to keep checking in and like to get to know me and Nova as to who we are, and actually are entertained by the different things that are going on in our life, not just the piece that happens to get out. I am talking about the different successes or lack of successes on the YouTube channel, but in my eyes, I'm not complaining. It's all been a great journey, and I'm happy with where things are. A little bit more into that, onto the analytics of the channel. I haven't actually earned a dime yet. When you look at the analytics, it says that I have earned what? $47.29 so far. That's what I have earned. But I have yet to see a dime because every month I only make between $3 and $7. And they're not going to cut you a check and send it in the mail if it's under $10. So at least that's what Nova looked into and found. I'm not disappointed about any of that. I actually am looking at it and thinking of encouragement because, wow, it says that I've earned this much so far. I never expected to have earned anything by now. So, by no means am I complaining about that. By looking at the analytics, that's just encouragement to me because it's showing that I have the ability to make some earnings. I just need to stick at it and keep with it. To me, the channel and the whole purpose of creating the channel was for a deeper purpose. It was about connecting with people that are interested in the same things I'm interested in. And moving on from that point, I would like to say that I am interested and have been starting to look into the whole buy me a coffee avenue. The thing about that is obviously I've seen it with other creators and I'm like, well, what's that all about? And I look into it. But the thing about it is it just seems like a more fun, like lackadaisical way of like connecting with specifically your own follower and seeing like who is willing to further support and further encourage you along your journey. So I'm kind of interested in that. Go ahead and leave your comments and your opinions below. It's fun to hear what other people think about different options that are out there. So let's see, what's next? I did have someone specifically asking me to elaborate on why we chose Tennessee, how we came about it, and also what we're accomplishing on our trips down there. I did answer this person, but then I got to thinking, well, other people might be interested in this same information. So that's why I'm taking a minute to try to update. I don't want to elaborate too much because, like I said, in other videos that will be coming up, some of this information will be relayed better and more in depth during that series. This has been on my mind to move to Tennessee for years. I was initially waiting to make my retirement, and then my daughter needed to graduate high school. I wasn't going to move her like a year and a half away from graduation. During that time that I was waiting, you're talking a good 2 years or more that I was going more and more consistently, checking out areas in Tennessee. I already had a pretty good idea. It was going to be along the Appalachian Mountains. I grew up in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee. I wanted to be closer to the mountains, closer to a lot of opportunities for hiking and outdoor activities. So that's why I chose the area I chose, is just because, that's where I was being drawn into based off of my hobbies and interests. Then from there, I was trying to figure out along the line of the mountains, where do I want to go? I knew I didn't want to be anywhere near the Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area any of the small spaces even around it, because that area is just going to be expanding. It's not stopped growing. And I'm not trying to be rude about that area. That area is beautiful and has its nice attractions, and it's a good place to visit. I would never want to live there. So from there, you know, you're going to be starting to look north and starting to look south. So every time I went, every few months for a good couple of years, I would just go and visit different areas. And initially, I will say I was pulled into an area more north, close to the Irwin area. So then at one point, we finally started looking a little more south because we just wasn't finding what we wanted in the north area. And that's when we came across the area in Tellico Plains and Coker Creek and that area, and we just fell in love with that area. It felt right. So we started moving on some properties in that area, but they didn't work out. Then we were pulled back to looking at other things in other areas, and after being down there, none of those just even felt right. Even if the numbers were right, they didn't feel right. So we went back and tried to consistently be looking in that area, but the availability just wasn't there. And if there was something available, the price wasn't right for the amount of work that needed to be put into it, or they were gone before you could even get to it. So that's why we ended up looking into and finding property and going along this journey for building. So that's a little bit of how and why we went in the direction that we went. So now we have actually closed on a property, and there is a shed already on the property, and the house is already getting started for the build. So that's part of what was being established on the many trips to Tennessee, was getting zoned into your area, making connections with people that connected you to the right people that got you a good builder after you chose to go that route. So that's what a lot of our trips have been. It's about making those connections and talking to people. I mean, I understand there are some people out there that can buy a car online and never had seen it or driven it. I'm not that person. I need to get a feeling for it, make those connections, see what my energy and aura is pulling in from the others' energies and auras or whatnot, trying to feel where my life is supposed to be and go for it, you know? It's a journey, and everybody's got to find their own way of fitting in where they belong. We try to make it a point to make a trip every month, but more recently, every couple of weeks, because I can get a load of my belongings down there, my tools or my supplies that I've come up with that are going to be going into this house, and also to check on the progress and have those connections with the builder to make sure we're all understanding each other. And, you know, there's all of these things that need to be taken care of, all of these choices that need to be made. And also just learning the area more, making more connections. And a question one might be asking is, what have I learned in the last year of this journey? I would say one thing that's been pretty big that's come to my mind lately on a big learning curve is painting. When you go from painting mainly interior spaces to refinishing furniture and even painting furniture, well, the options on creativity are endless. Okay, I guess this is a better way of explaining it. When you're talking about painting walls, people are generally going to keep their style cinched in a little bit. They're not going to be so free with like allowing huge moves in the creativity, because you got to change everything if your mood changes or your style grows. But when it comes to a piece that's within a room, now you can have freedom, because it's really not that big of a deal to either find it another home, somebody else who loves it eventually, if you grow out of it, and replace it. It's a bigger deal to replace all of the walls in the room. I would say the biggest thing about painting furniture that I have learned over the last year with the different pieces that I have done is that I do love using chalk paints. The creativity level on that is just endless. And that could be referring to blending, layering, texturing, just to name a few. It's endless. The possibilities are endless. You can go as far as you want and then further if you push yourself. And that's what I'm trying to learn how to do. But what I've discovered is after I'm done painting a piece in chalk paint, I don't like the finish. And what I mean by that is I've seen other creators that I love their work and I watch their work over and over and over, and I love basically every piece that they put out, regardless if it's my color scheme or not. It still is beautiful and their finishes look flawless. And I see that they're putting on wax to seal their piece and it looks beautiful. Well, I have tried this approach and I don't like it. It's like when I am done and I walk away and I come back, that piece has caught every single piece of dust or lint that has like been within 3 feet of it. It's just like a magnet and it goes shoo. So then you want to wipe it off and dust it and clean it, right? You got to get it staged for your follow-up pics. Well, now you have cloth streak marks where the dust was just rubbed in deeper. I'm putting this out there because I'm obviously doing something wrong. So if anybody watching this knows what I am doing wrong, please, please leave a comment and tell me. I try to use the lint-free microfiber cloths that I see other creators suggest to use and trying to color code it within. I mean, you don't want to use black cloth on a white piece or white cloth on a black piece. So I'm trying to keep all of that in mind, but I just create marks that don't come off. And not even to mention if you have to move the place over to a staging wall, let alone across town to your booth, everybody who's helped you along the way is now a piece of your furniture. I mean, it's it's not good. But on that same level, it didn't stop me from using chalk paint because of the endless amount of creativity options there are to go with it. Instead, I've learned that I really love covering and protecting the pieces with Minwax polyacrylic. I've learned that the feel that this polyacrylic gives on a chalk painted piece is like something that I can't describe. It's a subtle feeling that's like softness, but yet not. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's almost like a very, very tight pulled leather. That's one thing I've learned. I mean it's trial and error. You just stumble across stuff and I just love the way the polyacrylic looks and feels on top of a chalk paint. But it's not only that, I really do feel it's a lot stronger and durable than a wax is. So that's my preference, and that's what I've learned my preference is. I'm sure there's more. There's a lot more. Every day I'm learning. Okay, so here's one last thing I'd like to touch base on, and it's kind of humorous in a way. And I'm not complaining. It might come off that I'm complaining, but I'm really not. But I've had some people like watch my videos and the only thing they comment on is the fact that I am not wearing any protective gear at all. And any of my followers out there who already know this about me, you know I'm trying to, I know that they're right. I know you are all right. Protecting myself and my health is very, very important. So that's why I'm saying I am not complaining when it comes to this. And all of you that are followers know I have been trying to correct my bad habits on this. And even recently, on my last video that I released, I pointed out, hey, I'm wearing my mask. Then the very next, like, section of the video I'm making corrections and had forgot to put my mask back on. So this is a work in progress and I am not complaining about people who point that out. But the thing that I find humorous about it is they've watched my video and that's all they have to say. It's almost like it'd kill you to say something nice too, you know? And by all means, not everybody's rude about it. Some people are actually caring when they say it, and other people are just like downright on their soapbox, wanting to save the world. And I get that. They are right. I should protect myself, and I am telling you, you're right, and I'm trying. I am trying. You know what? I wonder how many times Perkins brothers get told they're not wearing their mask when they're out there sawing lumber and building homes all day long, day in, day out. I love watching Perkins Brothers, by the way. It's because I'm trying to learn. I watch them and a couple others. I'm trying to learn because I'm going to be getting into this new build and taking over, finishing the whole thing out from studs on. And the reason that comes to mind is because they're sawing lumber day in and day out. And I might be out in the garage with the garage door up, sawing lumber for 5 minutes. And I'm like, that's where my mind frame is like, okay, I guess I'm of an older generation or whatever, where you just get out and you do. I am not making excuses. I know they're right. I know I should protect my health. I'll tell you this, if you're one of those making that comment, I better not find out you're vaping. That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, I hope this caught all of you that actually care up with how our journey has been over the last year. And go ahead, leave any comments below if you're interested in something that I haven't elaborated on. And once again, thank you all. It's been a wonderful first year on this YouTube journey. As always, until next time, stay safe out there.